Okay, here we are again. This is my first day back to the gym this week. It was another good one though, because I can't feel my arms, which is always a good sign. I didn't think that I was going to have 2 consecutive gym visits quite that successful. Usually the soreness and the noodle arm, noodle limb syndrome only lasts well enough for like a single visit, and then after that my body kind of gets used to the physical exertion and I don't get sore anymore, which I have this like odd obsession with being sore in that I kind of like it, and it makes me, I guess, feel like I really did something that day. And so when I get to the point where like the workouts stop making me sore is usually when I have a hard time motivating myself to go back there and do more. And so the interesting thing for me is like, does that happen to everyone, or am I just not pushing like hard enough, so to speak? Like, does everyone reach a point where they exercise so frequently that they don't get sore anymore, or have I just reached a point to where I plateau, so to speak, and I stop pushing myself? And so at that point, do I up the ante and push harder so that I can? All these honking is just really distracting me. There's this gentleman who's on the street corner here. He can barely stand up, and he's got a sign in his hand, some political jargon, and people keep honking at him, and they're like, "Oh, thanks, you're so good at what you do." And I'm like, all right, cool, buddy. At any rate, where I was going with that, where was I going with that? I don't remember now. Oh, yeah. So do I need to just push myself harder, or do we all reach a point where we plateau? I don't exercise enough or hard enough to know if that is the truth or not, but I do exercise relatively frequently, and I'm surprised oftentimes at how easily I can like jump back into my routines. I've yet to have an instance where I have been away for a while and then I jump back in and find myself like incredibly far behind. I can always tell when I'm more in the gym versus when I'm more out of the gym. My body just feels a lot tighter. Like right now, my body feels a lot tighter than it normally does, or normally has, I should say. And so that factor of it really does work. And I don't take it so seriously. Like, I eat healthily, but I'm not like eating like a bajillion grams of protein so that I can turn into this giant muscle freak of myself. But my general goal is just overall health and fitness. Like, I want to eat well so that I can be healthy, and I want to work out so that I can stay fit. I'm not necessarily trying to be this like gorgeous supermodel. Would I turn that down? Absolutely not. But am I being real with myself when I say I'm probably not motivated enough to make that happen? Yes, I would say that's a reasonable assumption for myself to make, is that I am not motivated enough to get to the point where I can turn myself into that supermodel. But where I am now is plenty motivated enough to get me to where I want to be in life. And maybe that's all that I need to be in life, or all that I want to be in life. And okay, so this Wing and Out, this place that I used to go to a lot, totally looked like it was closed the last time I came down. And then I saw it again, and now it looks like it's open. And I haven't been there in a long time. I used to really like the place, and so I'll have to try and hit this place up at some point in time. It's always nice to hit up an old favorite restaurant. Another one of my favorites here locally had a fire in the kitchen, and they closed the whole place down, and I have no idea when they're reopening, but as soon as they do, I'm going to be there. And I reckon like a large portion of Columbia will be there when they reopen, because it's a pretty big establishment over here where I live. And so with that being said, maybe the day of wouldn't be the greatest idea, because I'm sure they'll be stupid busy. But at the same time, maybe I do it anyway just for the experience. But yeah, I want to get out, do more, live more, see more. Hopefully, like I said, I really need to aim to get my finances back in check come June. So the first half of this month, it's not a complete wash, but it's going to be basically a wash. And like this month especially, like I have just progressively been getting worse and worse with my spending. And now I'm like 900% sure that I'm going to have to dip into my savings this month at some point in time. And that is unfortunate, but it is also the reality that I live in, and I need to face it. And there's a decent portion of me that's like, you know what, like I make the money, I should have the right to spend it. So long as I'm not spending it irresponsibly, I should still be making an effort to get ahead in life while I have the opportunity to do so. But yeah, this whole, pretty much since December, it's been weird, and I'm hoping that, oops, I just punched my camera. I'm hoping that I punched my camera hard enough that you guys can see me better now. Anyway, I'm hoping that by June I can level out and get to a good place, and then December of this year I don't fall off again. December's a weird month for people employed here where I work, because we get paid monthly, but they pay you the week before Christmas, and then you have to wait basically an extra 2 weeks now before you get paid again in January, and it's miserable. And that is what threw a monkey wrench in my plans, because like I'm already having a hard time waiting an entire month before my next chunk of change comes in, and so now to have to wait a month and 2 weeks, like that takes some mad budgeting. And I'm hoping that I get to a point where I am good with that, but if nothing else, I'll have June, July, August, September, October, November, hopefully 6 months of good, hearty spending habits, and then December will happen. Hopefully I can bounce back by February of next year, and I can retain the good, healthy spending habits into 2025, and then just continue to retain from there. We'll see. There's so many things that can happen in between now and then. I definitely want to have a good birthday, and so I will be spending very irresponsibly then, and I will not care because I want to have a good birthday, and I want stuff, and having stuff feels good. So that will be my thing in May, which I knew this whole time it was going to be that way in May. I just wanted to straighten myself out before then, and I am just slowly but surely like sliding into oblivion. And I have to be careful not to do that in May, because June I'm gonna have to like really just crack down and just be like, okay, no more. Like, you cannot spend money on stuff that you do not need. If it is not food and water, you do not spend money on it. And I need to really wrench down on that. I've been able to avoid using my HVAC for a good while, so my electric bill is gonna be like $50 this month, so that feels pretty good. Hopefully I can reach a point where I can maintain that. May is usually pushing it. It's usually hard to not have my AC on by the time May rolls around, but we'll see. This month has been pretty chill. And so yeah, like I said, hopefully I get to hit a big reset button May 31st. I had a great blast of a time on my birthday, spent a lot of good money, and then I can reset and be a good, responsible human being again come June. So the goal. A lot of this irresponsible advertising is gonna have to stop. I agreed to pay $750 a month for this billboard. The last payment is this month, and that's done. And then I paid $900 2 times to this editor, and she should be done by April. And so hopefully in May I'll be clear of the irresponsible spending that I have accrued up till this point. Another important thing that's worth noting is the animation, but the animation will not stop. The animation will continue. And so the fact that I've been able to do animation and these other big payments at the same time is a testament that when the big payments are gone, I should be fine. And I need to be careful not to get enticed into something again that is huge, like a $750 billboard payment or a $900 editing payment. The editing thing will probably never go away. I do enjoy writing books, and I need my books to be edited before I put them out into the world, but it is still, how do I want to say this? It is still very, how do I put it? It's still very expensive, I guess. I don't know that there's a better way to say it, honestly. Like, it's not cheap. I have two editors, and maybe that's part of my problem as well. I have a content editor and I have a line editor, and I usually send it to the line editor first. This time around, I'm sending it to her second. And this book is longer than most of my other books, but her rates are quite expensive. And I enjoy her work, I enjoy her feedback, but it's like, ugh, you're killing me, girl. I don't know that I can keep doing this. And so if I write like one book a year, probably I can do it. But if I'm starting to write 2 a year, probably not. So far, I have not moved on to the next book project at all this year. I have kind of embraced and enjoyed not having anything to write. And so probably, I bet you in June is when I'll pick back up again. I need to finish the next Healers novel, and it started. I have, I think, 70,000 words into it, but it is going to be an absolute monster of a book. And so I know that, like, my cute little 70,000 words ain't nothing in the long run. Like, I don't even think we've hit like the middle of the book yet. And so that one's a monster. It's hard because I am so used to writing in the first person that going back to the third is going to be tough, but I need to just suck it up, buttercup, and get through it. And then hopefully I can knock that out, at least the first draft, by the end of the year. And then I can release My Brother Kanan at the top of next year, and then I can release whatever Healers 4 at the top of the year after that, and find some sort of healthy release strategy. After Healers 4, I don't know, I've got 2 open projects that I really want to pursue, and that is the next book in the If Ghosts Could Cry series, and then it is also the only book so far in the it's not even a franchise. What is it? It's just a book. What is it called? The Thirdest of Wheels. And that's just an interesting, fun little concept that I came up with one day, and I've been thinking on it for a while. And I also do want to do a sequel to My Brother Kanan. I have this new character in mind. His name is Ryan Shelley, and I'm really excited to introduce him to the world. And so, yeah, I think the writing projects will not cease. It would be great if I could reach a point where I'm writing 2 books a year, because right now, if I've got 4 projects that I want to work on, that means I'm 4 years out of having all 4 of them done, and I have to pray that nothing pops up between then and now that I want to write more so than what I've already started. And so it's a bit of a thing. It's a large, all-encompassing annoyance, but it is absolutely something that I enjoy doing and will continue doing. And so I'm not going to stop, but I am very thrilled about taking a break. And so hopefully getting back into the swing of things with Healers 2 won't be that much of a learning curve and won't be all that difficult. There's only one way really to find out, and that's just to get in there and start doing it. And like I said, hopefully be done by June, be done by the end of the year. I'll start it by June, and then hopefully move on to something else. It is nice to have these moments of nothingness, so to speak. I started having the other lady. Did she start in March? I feel like she started in March. So I've at least gone most, if not all of March without a writing project. And so we'll see what happens when I do something else in addition to that. I'm supposed to be working with the local screenwriter sometime in May and have him just do like a overarching review of my work, and we'll see what he comes up with. I don't know, like I'm not going to have him read the whole dang book. I don't think he has time for that, nor do I feel like spending that kind of money on a third editor. We'll see like what happens here and what becomes of it. The biggest thing that I'm really hoping is to like gain some sort of relation with the guy, and hoping that he can help me to promote my work, because he's got a bigger audience than I do, and I need all the help that I can get. And so I don't know that I'm using him so much for editing so much as that I'm hoping that my work can stand out enough to him that he wants to promote it. But it's going to be an issue, because if he's not even reading my work, then how's he going to get to know it well enough to want to promote it? And it creates this whole big old dichotomy. But it's like, once again, if I sent him a 138,000 word novel, he's going to be like, no thanks. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I get it. He's used to editing like, scripts and stuff. And scripts and stuff are not as long as novels are, because there's not as much oomph to it. Like, you can write an entire script that is, they say you get about a minute's worth of screen time out of one page of script. So one scripted page equals 1 minute of screen time. If 80 minutes is the average movie length, then 80 pages is the average script length, and that would be like significantly smaller than a book. A book is, I think this book that I'm on is like 300 some odd pages, and that's about average. Mine's like usually 250 to 300, I feel like, a release. They're nice little chunks of stories. And like I said, this most recent one is definitely my longest chunk. I've not had anything quite this long before. I have a feeling that Healers 4 is going to blow it out of the water. And then hopefully I can wind down to some more reasonably sized books after that. Like, I don't think The Thirdest of Wheels is going to be all that long. I don't think that the next book in the If Ghosts Could Cry franchise is going to be all that long. I need to figure out what I'm going to call that world. I want, like, because like Brandon Sanderson's got like the Cosmere, and Stephen King's got like the Dark Tower, and it's all these like bigger world things that all of their works of fiction work through. And I want to have something like that. And so I'm hoping that I can come up with a cool name for it, and I can use that to tie them all together. But at the end of the day, we will just play it by ear and see what happens, and hopefully, like I said, everything pans out. I can get my spending back in order. I can get my writing back on track, and we can move towards goals that are awesome and successful. And of course, I can't leave Compression Man out of my creative adventures. I now have a whole lot of creative adventures. I've got books, I've got cartoons, I've got YouTube videos that no one watches. I've got, what was the other thing I was literally just talking about? Maybe it was just books. Was I talking about something else on top of books? I felt like I was, but maybe not. But yeah, just putting my irons in every single fire, waiting for one of them to take off. And so this morning I came up with this idea to see about contacting like some of the local theaters and seeing if they would play an episode of Compression Man before like the show, because they used to play cartoons like before the movie back in the day, and like I said, it would just be like a 5-minute short, so it can't be that big of a deal for them to do that. But we'll see what happens and whether or not I can get anyone on board. I don't think like the actual like the franchise theaters would do it, because I think they get like a preloaded DVD or something from the studios to play their movies on. So I doubt that they would be like, oh yeah, let's just load up this cartoon. But it's not worth asking, I suppose. And then I need to get QR codes, and I'll put like a splash screen for QR codes, and hopefully that will also get some traction going. I want to get some people on here and get them watching Compression Man and get the views going, get the organic growth going. And so we will see. It'll only be a matter of time until eventually the whole world knows my name. And then when people post on my videos and they're like, your videos stink, I could be like, well, I got 100,000 people who don't think it stinks, so take that, you punk. So at any rate, good stuff all around. It was a good day. It was a good workout. Got some motivation going. Got some stuff going on at work that is good, fruitful stuff. And so, yeah, I just cannot wait to share it all with you guys and to get somewhere in this life that is darn good and feels good to be in, and just keep on pushing on until something breaks on through. And you never know, like, I've always talked about, or not always talked about, but I have thought about, like, even going on Netflix with Compression Man. I don't know what streaming services look like. Like, what does that look like? How do you get paid for your views on a streaming service? And I'm sure Netflix doesn't just take anything. They're not going to just be like, oh yeah, you can just put your show on here, we don't care. And if I'm just some independent creator, they're probably not going to be all that fascinated by it. My best bet would probably be to break out on YouTube and then see if I can break a deal with YouTube to become like exclusive to them, because it's already there on their platform. And so then they'll be like, yeah, it'll just be like a show that we offer or whatever. But, or maybe it stays exclusive to the, maybe it stays exclusive to my channel and to the audience of people who choose to watch it there. I don't know. I don't know yet. But I will continue to try things until something takes off. And for some odd reason, I really want ice cream today. But we get ice cream generally every Friday, so I'm not going to have ice cream today because that wouldn't make any sense. But I kind of do want ice cream. And like the other thing, like I just got done working out at the gym and I'm gonna go eat some ice cream. Like, that's smart. Whoa, I just did something really fit to get fit and in shape. Let me go eat a bunch of junk food. Like, that's silly. Silly, silly, silly. I don't think I'm anticipating anything in the mail today, but every time I pull in, I'm like, I should check the mail. But I think all the stuff that I've ordered has come in. And so, yeah, we have made it here. We are home. Today was a good one. I thought it was a pretty good video. Definitely a good, like, perspective video, I guess. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. And we'll just keep on keeping on.